Yes, sir. Yo. Here we are. All right, time to go live. Dang, feel like it's been a minute. When was the last time I went live? Let's see. When did I go live last time? I think it was last Wednesday. Man, that seems like a long time to me. Here we are. All right. Yeah, here we go. All right. Stream looks good. Yeah, man, it's been a minute. Feels like it's been, I think it was last Wednesday. See, I can't even keep track of days, man. I'd just be so busy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was last Wednesday. What, 5 days ago? Yeah. But all right, y'all. I'm back with another one. Give y'all a few minutes to come in. And we got a few things to talk about. Talk about these fights this past weekend. What I liked and what I disliked about these fights this past weekend. And of course, got some big news. Big news y'all can see in this picture. So yeah, let me give y'all a few minutes to come in. I'm gonna just take care of something right here real quick. All right, as I wait for y'all to come in, I'm just doing something. So I'm sitting right here, just taking care of some business. Yeah, man, been having some good news coming. I mean, a lot of news. It has some good news and some bad news in the world of Wmma. So yeah, got to talk about some of this stuff. Probably got to do a live stream tomorrow to talk about it. It's just a lot of things going on. Still got some videos to do too, man. I feel like I'm behind. I do, man. I feel like I'm behind on some things. I don't think I'm really behind. It's just the fact that I don't like to jump on stuff right away unless I know it's really true or not. So I kind of like to look into it and just, see what's rumors and what's real, and then kind of see how it plays out. That's what I usually do. Here we go. So yeah, like another 2 minutes, we'll get started. We can get started and just, kind of talk about this past weekend. Yeah, I've been busy this whole weekend, so I've been in and out. Had to go back and rewatch a lot of fights, boxing and MMA. And then I had to, watch them like 2 times just to see what happened in each round again and again, Sometimes I'm looking at it, and after that, I kind of forget some things that happened. So I got to go back and rewatch some things. All right, so hang tight 1 minute here. All right, another minute or so. Give me 1 minute. I'm just over here trying to multitask on something. But man, what y'all been doing this weekend? All right, Lolita, what's going on? Yeah, I'm about to get started here in a minute. Yeah, that Broner fight, I got a video I'm about to put out, Lolita. I give you my thoughts on that Broner fight, man. Like, I don't know, man. Broner, I try to give him a chance every time, but he just blows it. And I mean, it ain't me that's giving him a chance. I mean, he ain't giving himself a chance. So it's on him what he does. You know, it's not gonna hurt me. But I mean, whenever Broner just comes in there and just shows up and doesn't really try to change things, it's like, what are we doing here, man? Like, why are we always trying to have some faith in you whenever you don't have faith in your own skill set? Yeah, but I got a video I'm just trying to edit at the same time right now, so I'll have that out in a minute, Lolita. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another CB99 live stream. Got some good news, some shocking news, and some bad news. So yeah, first thing, of course, I want to talk about is this past weekend's fights. You know, I know some people were disappointed in the performances of, you know, the 4 women this weekend that fought on the UFC Fight Night card. So we can talk about that. We'll talk about the performance of Casey O'Neill, Shanna Dobson, Ketlin, Yana, all of that. I just want to go back and talk about their performance. And I might speak on Broner a little bit. I might speak on Broner right now, maybe. But some shocking news. I want to talk about Invicta, man. Invicta FC. I saw this piece of news posted on the Facebook page, Lions. Oops, excuse me. I had to fix something there. Lions Den Women's Mixed Martial Arts page. Robert Henry. Man, this you said you thought of me when you saw this, man. But yeah, I was like shocked. Invicta FC is going to part ways with UFC Fight Pass. You know, I'm already asking questions like, where are we going to see Invicta at, man? Like, what's going to happen? Where they're going to go from here? So we got to talk about that a little bit. And of course, this was some big news. I mean, Lolita, what do you think about this? Felicia Spencer versus Danyelle Wolf, May 22nd. Featherweight bout. Wow. I mean, that fight right there says it all, man. Like, man, I don't know about that fight, though. Felicia Spencer versus Danyelle Wolf. So we'll talk about it, though. Let's see. He said Broner was good. It was too easy for him. He got bored and quit trying. He did it for the money. If that point would not been deducted. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, he just seemed like he just comes in there and poses, and he's not really trying, not letting his hands go. So I'm just not feeling him at this point with what he's doing with himself. But yeah, let's go back to this past weekend. Let's talk about Shanna Dobson versus Casey O'Neill first. Shanna Dobson, man, like I said this in my post-fight analysis video. Shanna Dobson, you know, she's one of those fighters that is very up and down. I mean, for the most part, she's been down where she just comes to fight. And I mean, to me, there's fighters, like I said, that want to show up to fight, and then there's fighters who come to win. And Casey O'Neill, I know a lot of people talked about Casey's performance, but Casey O'Neill definitely separated herself from Shanna Dobson. She wanted to win. You know, that was the difference. Shanna Dobson showed up to try to fight, try to trade blows in exchange, where Casey O'Neill came to win. I mean, it wasn't like groundbreaking. It wasn't really like this big statement made for a UFC debut, but she came to win. And I just think that at this point, Shanna Dobson really has to think about what she's doing, because the things that she did in this fight, like I said, they were very reminiscent to the Shanna Dobson versus Roxanne Modafferi fight, and that was years ago. Man. Ernest, what's going on, man? You know, Shanna Dobson looking like she did against Roxanne, helpless on her back and just like shielding these little punches coming at her. It was almost like embarrassing in a way because Shanna, she should have she should have evolved from that. I mean, let's be honest. She has to she has to there had to be a point in her career where she said, "Man, I got to step up my game on my ground. That's my weakness. I got to start fighting off my back. I got work to do." But she looked exactly like she did that night when she fought Roxanne on the Tough Show. Stuck on her back, squirming, just taking punishment. And the bad thing about this fight was that the punishment wasn't really punishment. It was just like a bunch of pity pat shots. Lolita, like you said, it was pity pat shots that was just raining down on Shanna Dobson, but they weren't very effective. But to me, I was like, okay, the referee said, look, if you ain't showing me something, I'll have to stop it. So he did his job. I feel like, hey, he did his part. I would have stopped it too. I mean, if the fighter's just going to lay there and shield up, that's another form of tapping out to me. If you're just going to lay there, kind of squirm, put your hands up, and not fight back or not try to control her wrists or not try to counter back, then you're really saying, look, I don't want to fight. I don't want to go on. So I mean, like, it was good stoppage on his part, but at the same time, it really wasn't like it was like this damaging fight where she was getting beat up. I mean, just going back to the first round, I mean, Shanna Dobson just looked like a fighter that wanted to trade, trying to trade these big shots, was looking for a knockout or just looking for an exciting fight, not using any type of footwork. Where Casey O'Neill, she took a few licks, gave a few licks, but she said, look, I'm not going to stand here and trade with you. I'm going to just go in for these clinches and try to muscle you and take you to the ground. So, yeah, she did her part. Casey O'Neill did her part to just take the win because it was there. But did she look impressive? Not really. She didn't look explosive. She didn't look like Manon Fiorot when she blasted out Victoria Leonardo. She didn't look like Miranda Maverick stopping Liana Jojua in one round. You know what I mean? Like, Miranda Maverick may have stopped her on cuts, but she was able to stop a UFC fighter that had more fights than her. So those were impressive wins. Those made you look like these two fighters here are stepping out of the box and they look like they got a long career ahead of them. I feel like Casey O'Neill came in, won the fight, but that ground and pound, that ground and pound, like Lolita said, that pity pat ground and pound was just, it wasn't enough to really make us say this girl's going to be a force in the UFC. I mean, like, I've seen some fighters in the Invicta FC tournaments in Bellator look a little bit more impressive. I really think that Casey O'Neill could have stepped her game up to a point where you had to go in there and knock somebody out like Shanna Dobson and look really, really good. I mean, Shanna Dobson only had one gear, and that was to stand and trade. Casey O'Neill could have gave her angles. She could have scored some good head kicks or just some good counter punches and maybe taken her out in that fashion. Or if she got her to the ground, try to go for a submission because Shanna Dobson's pretty helpless on the ground, right? She was just sitting there with her hands up. So to me, I think Casey O'Neill should have did something in bigger fashion instead of just raining those soft shots on her. She could have went in and tried to get that submission or start just like putting her weight behind those elbows, put some weight behind some big elbows in there. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, you weren't in the octagon, but everybody's saying it. It's that obvious that those shots weren't really doing big damage. The referee just had to stop the fight. So as far as Casey O'Neill, as far as me putting her up there, she's 6-0 now and saying, oh, she's going to be a force in the flyweight division. I don't know yet. I can't really say she is going to be a force yet. See, I mean, like, when we talking like Manon Fiorot, she was a former champion from UAE. She came in looking like it. She came in looking comfortable, just working a little bit of everything in her fight with Victoria Leonardo. There was just different levels there. From here, I think if you got to really test Casey O'Neill now. You know, she did what she was supposed to do against a fighter like Shannon Dobson. You know, I feel like Shannon Dobson, she just comes in there and she's just providing the fight. She's just a body sometimes. You know, the Maria Agapova fight, that was what it was for that moment. But you can't keep living off of that victory. You got to continue to derail these undefeated fighters that they bring in, or they're just going to continue to feed you to them. You know, to break that chain, you got to continue to knock them out. So Shannon Dobson, you got to beat Maria Agapova. You got to beat Casey O'Neill. You got to beat the next one they throw at you. Then eventually they'll start throwing you in there with some top 15 fighters. You know, that's how it works, man. But until then, if they don't cut Shannon Dobson, I think they're going to feed her to the next fighter that they bring into the UFC. And from there, if she doesn't live up to, you know, the UFC level status for the status that she's at, then they'll probably cut her. I mean, what do y'all think? Like, do you think Shannon Dobson will be on the chopping block for the next cut? But yeah, as far as Casey O'Neill, look, she got the job done. But to me, I still don't think that it was really like a big win to make me say, okay, she's part of that next wave of flyweights that's coming up. I'm actually more excited about Jocelyn Edwards moving down to flyweight, though. I mean, what do y'all think about that? You know, that's going to be a good move right there. But let's see. Ketlen Vieira versus Yana Kunitskaya. I thought this fight was going to be a little bit more explosive, you know, a little bit more competitive. I mean, you could say it was competitive, but the action wasn't there. There really wasn't too much. There really wasn't too much technique on either side as far as Ketlen Vieira being more active on top, on the ground. She just kind of wanted to smother and hold. Yana Kunitskaya, I feel like she could have committed more to her striking in this fight. I mean, she looked good on the ground. She looked better on the ground than Ketlen Vieira did, but I think this could have been an easier win for Yana if she would have just used her jab and just kept the fight standing. But that kind of shows you that maybe she wasn't even feeling like that confident in her striking in this fight. Because if she would have used her striking, I can probably guarantee you that she would have won an easier fight. And she would have beat Ketlen a lot more convincing if she would have just committed to her stand-up. But, you know, she chose to take it to the ground, and she did look a little bit better than Ketlen Vieira. I mean, she was much more active, so Ketlen can't really feel some kind of way that she didn't do enough to win the fight, because, I mean, she did. You know, she can't feel like she won the fight, because she didn't. I feel like the first round, Ketlen Vieira just didn't do enough. I mean, you just can't get a takedown now. You know, I think judges, they're getting smarter. They're getting smarter now. You know, they're not just going to give you a round because you took somebody down. It's like, it's what you do with the takedown. Stamina, what's going on? Genesis, what's going on? You know, it's what you do with the takedown. Like, I'm not going to give you a round just because you took somebody to the ground. I'm going to give it to the person that's making better with it. Like, if Yana's on her back and she's active and she's working, I'll give it to her. But if you just laying on top of somebody like you're taking a nap, I'm not going to give you the round. You know, I'm not going to give you the round. Like, I gave her the first round. And then Yana, she won the second round. She won the second round. It wasn't until the third round where she kind of took her foot off the gas and just let Ketlen lay on her. You know, so overall, it wasn't really like a big eventful fight. I expected more from both of these fighters being, you know, top 10 fighters. But I think right now Ketlen's kind of in a position where she needs to really go back and think, man, because she's losing a step, man. I'm going to be honest. Like, Ketlen's lost a step, you know, since that Cat win and since they were talking about her getting the title shot a couple years ago. She just hasn't been on a level where I was like, I'm impressed anymore. You know, the Sarge fight, it was what it was. She has enough to beat somebody like Sarge Eubank, but I don't even see her beating Juliana Pena. I don't see Ketlen beating Juliana Pena at this point. Hell, I couldn't even see her beating Holly Holm. But Yana Kunitskaya, to me, did what she had to do. And from here, I think she wants her rematch with Aspen Ladd. So look, hey, give her that rematch because Aspen Ladd, she doesn't deserve a title shot. She doesn't deserve a title shot. So let these two fight it out, and eventually maybe the winner gets a title eliminator, not a title shot. Yeah. So yeah, man. I don't know. Man. Like some of these fighters, they just come to show up. Sometimes they don't come to level up like they need to. What did y'all think of the fights? Stamina, what was your take on Stamina? What was your take? Genesis, what was your take on Shannon Dobson and Casey O'Neill? Like I said, Casey did what she had to do, but it wasn't mind blowing. Hang on for a second, just gotta fix something here. Gotta step away for a second. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, man. What do you think, man? Books here. This ain't mine. Genesis said trash. Yeah, especially whenever you think of these fighters and the calibers that they're supposed to be at. I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, y'all need to let something go in there. Y'all gotta step the game up. Like Ketlin and Yana. To me, Yana Kunitskaya could have made this a better striking fight if she just kept this fight standing, did something with her striking. Ketlin should have been in there banging, but she was just laying there a lot of the times. I was like, why are you not working? Like, why are you not trying to take Yana out? Why are you just trying to clinch with it like this? You just exerting energy. Like, what are you doing? Stamina said Dobson was just Dobson. O'Neal didn't show me much. She's Victoria Leonardo level to me. I think most of the flyweights the UFC signed recently would handle her pretty swiftly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she's Victoria Leonardo is similar to her. Like she's got that force coming in there. She'll take the win if you give it to her, but would she take the win if the fighter has that skill? I'm trying to see who they'll match Casey O'Neill with up next. Like I said, I'm more excited about Jocelyn Edwards moving down to 125. I want to see what she can do at 125. Jocelyn Edwards is making a good choice to move down. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow, though. O'Neal, I don't know. Like, let me see. Poliana Bateo was taking on. Who is she taking on? Jinyu Kim next, I think. She just posted that on her Instagram. So Casey O'Neill, they might put her in there with somebody like Courtney Casey, or because she's only like 6-0, and I don't really see Casey O'Neill beating anybody in the top. Well, I say 11 through 15. I don't see Casey O'Neill beating Antonina or any of those fighters right now. Andrea Lee or any of those fighters. Ketlin's decision making was frustrating, man. Yeah, it was like it wasn't a fun watch. No, it wasn't. It wasn't, man. It really wasn't like a fun watch. And I mean, even on a level of like skill, like it wasn't fun. Like not every fight has to be straight up blood and a bloodbath and just straight up toe-to-toe battle, but I like to see a good grappling match. Like if you watching Juliana Pena on the ground, she's a little bit I won't say a little bit, she's more fun to watch. Juliana Pena is a lot more fun to watch when she's on the ground, but like Ketlin was just not active, and yeah, it was frustrating, man. it gets frustrating when you watch these fighters who just don't want to execute, and they supposedly have all this skill and they went through all this training, and then when it comes time to perform, it's just like, a bust. But yeah, bit of a snoozer weekend for everybody when it came down to the WMMA fight. So yeah, I definitely understand. Definitely understand why. But let's jump over here, man. Let's talk about this Invicta thing, man. Invicta FC. I saw this. Like I said, I saw this on the Facebook page. Invicta FC set to part ways with the UFC Fight Pass. It's gonna be crazy right here, man. Akin to a wet blanket. Yeah, like Invicta FC. I can't believe it, man. Like I'm kind of questioning like where are they gonna go from here. They're set to part ways with the UFC Fight Pass. This is on fightbananas.com. Just in case y'all haven't seen it, I just kind of want to read through it a little bit. So yeah, UFC Fight Pass, man, they hit the scene way back. I want to say back in 2012, but I remember, yeah, they signed a deal with UFC Fight Pass. It says here in 2014. That's a long relationship. Yeah, that's a long relationship right there, man. Yeah, I think about it. So yeah, launching back in 2012, following the UFC's acquisition of the now defunct Strikeforce promotion. Dang. The above mentioned that Nap, Janet Martin, founded the organization solely for WMMA. Yep. Invicta has produced the likes of a lot of fighters, a lot of champions. Yeah, Chris Cyborg, Megan, Felicia, Lauren, Yana Kunitskaya, Jennifer Maya, Rose Namajunas. Dang. Yeah, when you look at how many fighters came out of Invicta, man, it's just crazy. But yeah, it says here, according to multiple sources, the promotion is set to air fights on their official YouTube channel as they begin to search for another streaming platform. So yeah. Yeah, that news, Lolita, that I was just reading. Invicta FC is parting ways with UFC Fight Pass. Yeah, that's the news. Ernest Richards said they said events on Invicta FC YouTube. Yeah, that's what I was just reading. Yeah, so as of now, they're gonna part. When they part ways, as of right now, they're gonna be on the official YouTube channel. Which before you could watch some of the clips, you could watch some of the highlights. And I remember before, like the early prelims, you could watch on the Facebook page. Like they would stream live on the Facebook page. Like the first 2 or 3 fights, they would go on there, and then they would switch to UFC Fight Pass. But yeah, they've been with the UFC app for a while, UFC Fight Pass app for a minute now. They said their first event was back in 2014, Invicta FC 8. So yeah, I'm just curious as to where they're going to go from here. I know they're going to use the channel for a while, but where else could they go? I mean, when you think of these other apps out here, like, will they go to that Fight app, FITE, where they promote, BKFC promotions, or will they go to like DAZN? I'm curious, man, because Invicta FC, I feel like that partnership with the UFC app, that was a good thing, because that's how they were getting out there a lot. That's how a lot of these WMMA fighters were able to get their shine. Now that's why I'm kind of curious. I'm hoping that Invicta won't fall off. I hope it won't, disappear or just become defunct like the Strikeforce did. Robert Henry, what's going on? Robert Henry said he just got caught up with some house cleaning. Hey, that house cleaning, man, it can be fun sometimes, right? But yeah, we just talking, Robert. We talking about this Invicta thing. I just started on it. Invicta FC is parting ways with UFC Fight Pass. They've been with them for almost 7 years. I like I said, I remember seeing Invicta, the very first one. I can't even remember what I used to watch it on. Like I remember I used to watch the events live, like back in 2012, but I can't remember. Like I can't even remember. It's been that long. It's been like 9 years ago. I can't remember the actual platform they used to be on. What do y'all think? Is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, at the moment, it's kind of looking like a bad thing because it's making me feel like it's going to be a harder way for a lot of these WMMA fighters to get to shine. You know, I think with the app not being, with the organization not streaming on this app, you know, I think a lot of people are going to miss out. I mean, a lot of people aren't tuning in right now. You know, a lot of men aren't tuning in right now, but I feel like with the app giving up Invicta FC, it's going to be like, where's it going to go? It's really going to get lost to me. You know, so I'm just got that question mark over my head. You know, I'm a little bit worried about this. I mean, what do y'all think, man? Where do y'all think Invicta FC should go from here? Because it's definitely done a lot for, you know, a lot of these women fighters in the UFC and Bellator, Rising. You know, you got a lot of women starting out here. I mean, almost everybody from the strawweight division on that Tough House edition of the UFC, they came from Invicta. You know, everybody from Carla Rose, Beck, Angela Hill, JoJo, Randa, Heather Clark, all of these ladies, if y'all can remember all them ladies from back then, like all of them ladies came from Invicta. All of them ladies fought for Invicta at a point. And then, of course, yeah, you had Chris Cyborg and Megan Anderson. All these ladies came over here, and I feel like that marriage helped out, you know, with Invicta linking with Fight Pass. It kind of had them with that, oh, hold on here. What did you say? How am I gonna do WMMA prospect watching without Invicta FC having an internet platform? I don't know. Yeah, that's the question. You know, I don't know, man, at this point. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, that's what it was like for these ladies to be on the UFC Fight Pass app. All of their fights were archived as well. Like, now we got to ask, are they going to get rid of that whole archive? Because that's how I did a lot of my research going back to watch fights. With Invicta being linked to UFC Fight Pass, every time you hit search, I know the search engine can suck sometimes, but when you hit that search engine, you could just type in, who was I watching recently? Miranda Maverick, the majority of her fights. You can see all her Invicta fights on UFC Fight Pass. So with that gone, you won't be able to go back and watch these fights now. You know, unless whoever runs the YouTube channel is going to go back and pull up all these fights and upload them to the YouTube channel. That's what they're going to have to do. But they're just going to have to open their own website. Invicta FC is going to have an archive where you can go back and watch these fights. That's another negative of them leaving. You know, you won't be able to go back and watch these fights. I'm talking Rose's fights, Tisha Torres, Megan, all of their old fights are on UFC Fight Pass, so you're probably not going to be able to see them now. Ernest said, what if Invicta jumps on ESPN Plus? I don't know. I don't know if that will. And yeah, I have trouble with ESPN Plus. I have it, but sometimes like the quality of it, you know, the streaming can be kind of sticky. I mean, it's an option though. It's an option though. I think that might be better. You know, if they have like a better deal laid out for them, it would definitely be better though, Ernest. Yeah, if they went to ESPN Plus, you know, I think a lot more people would see it. Don't see how it can be good. Yeah, it's the biggest platform of its kind for all its sins. Must have been irreconcilable. Different. Yeah. As for YouTube to be preferable, staying where they are. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, as of right now, the YouTube channel for the platform is gonna be good because that's where a lot of people go when they want to see these fights. They're gonna say, "Oh, I want to see the free fight now." But if they want to put themselves in a position where they can make money, they're gonna have to go to like an ESPN Plus, Ernest, or they're gonna have to go to a DAZN, which I don't mind because yeah, I got those apps. So they just got to go to one of those apps and hope that works out better for them. Oh, you don't get ESPN Plus. Oh, you get ESPN. Period. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's not good then. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I think the other option might be that app I was using to watch the bare knuckle boxing. That fight app. That app is free. Yeah, matter of fact, that app is free. FITE. That fight app. Let me see. I mean, you can pay. You pay for the pay-per-views, but you can watch other stuff on there too. And I'm looking at the app right now. They got live events and they got on-demand stuff. So maybe if Invicta FC, signs a deal with Fight, that would work. And I don't know if any of y'all use that app, but yeah, it's pretty decent. I like the layout of it. I like the archive of it. You just go straight to it. You click on it, and you can start replaying on some of your fights. I think it's a little bit smoother than UFC Fight Pass actually. And I think if they went to Fight, they might stand out a little bit more because with Invicta FC, I'm not gonna lie, they got to compete with Cage Fury, LFA, those Lion Fights, boxing, and sometimes it can just get kind of lost in the mix on the app, on the UFC Fight Pass app. And I'm not gonna lie, man, like every time I start my UFC Fight Pass app, when I hit something live, the screen is black. I got sound, but the screen is black. That's what pissed me off about it. So it might be good, like it might be good that they are leaving when you think about it in that fashion, because I try to start a fight, man, whenever it's going live and the screen is black. I spend like 10 or 15 minutes trying to refresh, trying to get the whole event to restart so I can watch it, but I'm sitting here missing it because my screen is black. So maybe that's a good thing. So maybe they do need to go to DAZN or Fight. I suggest Fight though, yeah, because the app is free for y'all too. It's free for everybody. You don't have to pay for this app, but like all you do is pay for events. ESPN is the worst in American history, so hopefully they don't end up with them. Yeah, like app been sticky. UFC Fight Pass it's just they're kind of stuck in a bind right now. I think YouTube would probably be the best for now because then you'll get a lot of people coming in and they'll get to see what the organization is worth, and then eventually when they find an app to go to, people will say, okay, this is worth paying for. This is worth getting. That's kind of my assessment of the whole situation right now. I think that if they do go back to YouTube, it'll kind of revamp them, reintroduce them to the MMA crowd, and then go back. When they can find somewhere to go like DAZN or Fight, after that they can start saying, hey, this is something worth paying for. You should app this. Yeah, I think I get bad service from UFC Fight Pass. Like the search thing is kind of weird. Like when you search something, it'll take you back to the home page, and when you hit live events, it'll give you a black screen. It'll give you a black screen, and that junk gets annoying, man. I'm missing the live event. Come on. But yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so that's pretty much my thoughts. So like I'm kind of sad to see the the organization leaving UFC Fight Pass, but it might be for the better. I hope it is, man, because you Invicta FC was just the home for a lot of these women that came over to the UFC, and you got a lot of talent that go there. It's a good place for a lot of talent to get to shine. And yeah, like Kenta said, that's where I see a lot of prospects come in. I mean, yeah, when you think about all the women that came from there, from Nunes to Cyborg to Rose, just a lot of great talent out of there. So you can't do that, man. Can't let them fall off the radar, man. So yeah, let's move on, man. Yeah, this last topic here that I had just came in hot. I told Robert Henry I was going to talk about it on this stream. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. I don't want to talk about it. Forget that. This ain't no fight. We ain't talking about it. Forget it. I'm out. Nah, I'm just playing. Yeah. All right, let's talk, man. Felicia Spencer. She's making her return to the UFC in May. But it's not much they get excited for. I'm not getting too hyped about this because I'm not even talking about the opponent yet, but it's the featherweight division. It's the featherweight division. I mean, what is there in this featherweight division anyway, right? I mean, I like Felicia Spencer as a fighter. I know when she was Invicta, I was more so hyped to see who she was going to take on next. But in the UFC, who is there for her to take on? Like, where is this featherweight division? But they got her an opponent, and a lot of y'all been talking about this before in my live streams, and I didn't want to admit it because it's not a good matchup, but eventually it was going to come, right? Felicia Spencer is taking on Danyelle Wolf in May. It all came down to that, right? It all came down to that. I mean, when you don't have a solid, stable division, you're just going to have chaos, and you're going to have people throwing matches together because these two fighters are the same weight. You're just going to be basing matches off of weight, not skill set. That's the dangerous thing about not having a set, stable division. I mean, come on, they know that. That's why they have a featherweight division for the men and everybody else. Why is this one division so hard to put together? Somebody answer me that. So yeah, let's look here. Felicia Spencer will welcome Danyelle Wolf to the UFC. Spencer versus Wolf is agreed. Let me see here. Okay. Spencer versus Wolf is agreed to for May 22nd. Contracts have been sent out for the fight. The location of the event has not been announced yet. So yeah, it's going down May 22nd, y'all. That's what it's looking like. So my thoughts on that, I mean, like Stamina said, I can't really call this a fight. I mean, we really can't call this a fight because you're talking about a former champion from another organization taking on a fighter who's only had one professional mixed martial arts fight. Yes, she has a boxing resume, but that's a different game. It's a totally different discipline. We're talking about mixed martial arts. Danyelle Wolf came into the UFC, came into the Contender Series 0-0, didn't win her fight in a lot of people's eyes, but yet she got a contract. What about what I said sounds right? Nothing, right? None of that sounds right. So now, her second fight, her first official fight, if you want to call it that, in the UFC is going to be against Felicia Spencer, a fighter who went the distance with Amanda Nunes, Chris Cyborg, submitted Megan Anderson, again, had a belt in another organization. So stop me when I'm wrong here. Stop me when I'm wrong. This is just another reason why you need to have a stable featherweight division right now. I just don't like the sounds of this fight at all. I mean, like, it's almost to a point where you feel like Dana White know he did wrong by signing Danyelle Wolf, but now he has to go along with it and just say, nah, I got to put her in there. Doesn't matter. I got to put her in there anyway. You know, I can't make myself look bad. That's the type of situation it's looking like right now. So the first thing he does is put her in there with a very tough, rugged fighter in Felicia Spencer. In no way of my years of MMA have I, ever seen something this crazy. I mean, just putting somebody in here with one professional fight that they barely pulled out, and you just put them in there with the champion. You rarely see anything like that happen. You never really see that type of stuff happen in boxing, so for me to see this, I'm just like, yo, what's going on? Robert Henry said, Spencer has one of the best chins in WMMA and 100 times the experience. I know, man, like there's just so much going on. Yeah, that's right. He just said he was going live. He had popped up with that. Yeah, so he was going live with Leah Lesson. I guess he finally got the interview with it. Okay. I'll be on here for a little bit longer anyway, so I'll probably pop in there. Yeah, I'll probably be on here like another 15 minutes, so 15, 20 minutes. I think Dana smashes some. I think Dana smashes some of these female fighters. Oh man, Lolita, you need to stop. I mean, hey. But yeah, that's my thing. Look, I just don't get it. Like, why would you take a chance with somebody who didn't have any wins and then you're gonna put her in a division that's doesn't have any fighter, any legit competition, any legit fighters for her to face, I mean, Robert Henry said you will make this video. I got to know what you got to say. I got to know your thoughts too, man. I got to know the fans' thoughts on this because I wonder what Felicia Spencer's her mindset is. She's probably like, yo, I'm going to go in there and crush this girl. I don't care 1-0 or what. I'm going to go ahead and take her out. I'm going to kill the hype train now. And that's what it's going to look like. That's exactly what it's going to look like. This fight's going to be it's going to be blowing up in their faces. I can pretty much say that Felicia Spencer has enough experience, enough roughness, and enough dog in her to just take everything that Tanisha Tennant had done and just multiply that by 100. Felicia Spencer is going to come in there full force. She's not going to respect Danyelle Wolf because Danyelle Wolf wasn't even able to hurt Tanisha Tennant in that fight. All she was able to do was use her strength in that Tanisha Tennant fight. But other than that, it was Tanisha Tennant who was countering and doing damage to Danyelle Wolf. So imagine a fighter that's strong as hell, durable, has punching power, and has a ground game, knows how to use her physical strength well. You got a fighter like her and Felicia Spencer. What is Danyelle Wolf going to do to a fighter like that? It just makes you say, like, what's going on here? Like, why would you sign this fighter? Lolita, I know what you're hitting at though. I mean, like, I know that it make a lot of people ask that because you seen some other fighters in the past. They said, well, what's going on with Dana here? What's going on here? But you never doubt that type of stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have got to have a little something more going on with the fighter that's 1-0 or 0-0. You bring her into the Contender Series and say, man, I'm gonna get this girl that's 0-0 in here. Like, you should be thinking of some other things like her life. Like, yo, you putting her in there with experienced fighters, but you must be chasing something. You know what I mean? It's definitely a possibility, more than a possibility. But for real though, like, I just can't put a 1-0 fighter in there with somebody that took the best shots from Amanda Nunes and the best shots from Megan Anderson like that. I just can't put them in there. You're just looking to spell. You're just spelling disaster out right there, right in front of you. I mean, Dana messed up that Contender Series night when he didn't separate these bouts. I mean, he should have had Tanisha Tennant in there with a bantamweight, and he should have had Danyelle Wolf in there with the featherweight fighter. They should have just been two separate fights. He should have been building both of them up. You know, Tanisha Tennant was the next star or the next talent for the bantamweight division, and Danyelle Wolf was going to be the featherweight thing. But instead, he collides those two things, makes Tanisha Tennant fight at featherweight, which isn't her weight, and messes the thing up. You know, that right there, like you said, that's a stupid move. Like, you messed up two good things for yourself. You could have had a new champion for bantamweight, new star for bantamweight, and you could have still had your hype train for featherweight. Not smart at all. It's crazy, baby. They role play ground and pound. You crazy. I mean, why else would he have her there, right? I mean, she hasn't shown great talent leading up to this fight. Like, there was no fights to base to really base her skill set off of, you know, to make us say, man, this girl is great. Like, man, this girl deserves to be in the UFC. I mean, yeah, think about it. I mean, Lolita, what you're saying ain't right. It ain't wrong. Like, definitely not saying it's wrong. It's definitely, it definitely looks that way, because you're thinking, like, all of these other fighters, like, even Kay Hansen, they came from Invicta. They had a resume. You know, Kay Hansen had a resume to go off of. Manon Fiorot had a resume to go off of. Tanisha Tennant had a resume to go off of. But what were we basing? Think about it. Y'all answer. Lolita, you gonna answer. What were we basing Danyelle Wolf, her background off of to put her in the UFC? Like, she had no fights for us to judge, right? So what is Dana looking at that makes us say she's ready? So yeah, I think you already said. Marcus Bell, what's going on, man? You late to the party? Yeah, we about to I'll be on here like another 8 minutes. I'm about to wrap it up here in a minute. I just stay on like an hour today, because I'm gonna come back on tomorrow anyway and talk again about some other topics. But yeah, I'll be on here like an hour, maybe like an hour and something. Unless y'all got some other questions. But yeah, that's just my thought. You know, that's my thoughts on the whole situation. I just want to bring that up to y'all. I'll probably do another video on it, just talking about it and breaking this down, why this spells disaster. You know, Danyelle Wolf doesn't really have like a resume to go off of to make us say she deserves to jump in front of all of these other fighters for an opportunity at a UFC contract. Why does an 0-0 fighter skip everybody else, like a Chelsea Chandler, a Pam Bam Sorensen, to get to that UFC contract? How does she leap over these type of fighters, huh? How in the hell do you leap over these talents out here? Yeah, Robert, I wish they did. Like, if you put Wolf in there with Chelsea Chandler, Chelsea's on the street right now. She was knocking a lot of undefeated fighters out. You know, well, you know, she was beating them. You know, she was taking them out. And it's crazy, like a fighter like her just kind of stays under the radar. Like, you would think you would jump at somebody like Chelsea because she's in there working, you know, she's in there improving every day and she wants to fight, but it seems like it's hard for her to get a contract. You know, another fight. Lolita said Hansen versus O'Neal. If they fought at flyweight, Kay Hansen can fight at flyweight. You know, she's fought at flyweight too. I'm kind of leaning towards Kay Hansen, because you can't count out her wrestling. You can't count out when she gets to the ground. That's how close it is for me. But like, I didn't see anything like great or anything very special out of Casey O'Neill, that's how close that fight would be to me. That's how close that fight would be to me. Like, Kay Hansen, to me, has enough skill set and enough physical strength to handle O'Neill on the ground. Because, like I said, she's fought at flyweight. Stamina said there are fighters with more fights than Wolf. I don't understand why Dana signed. My talent in life has never been to make sense out of nonsense. You know, yeah. The more and more you think about it, your head will blow up. You just let it blow up in their faces. That's how I say. Like, do something stupid and it'll blow up in their faces. So. Lolita said, yeah, Kay Hansen wins. Yeah, maybe different weight classes, but like I said, they fought. Kay Hansen's fought at 125 in Invicta. You know, she's been at 125. You know, she fought Erin Blanchfield at 125. She lost, very close fight, but I kind of lean towards Hansen too. The girl's kind of like I don't know what's the word, a wild card. I mean, she can be getting beat down, but then all of a sudden she'll come back and find that win. She's done that like multiple times in her career. Ernest said Wolf will be an underdog minimum. What if Wolf clubbed Spencer in the temple in the head with one of those long leg kicks? I really don't. I don't see Felicia really giving her the chance to set her feet to land something big. I mean, anything can happen, but I don't know. Marcus said Felicia done fought the entire featherweight division except for Danyelle Wolf. She has, man. Literally, she has fought everybody. Literally, she's fought everybody in your little bantamweight division. I mean, you could fit everybody in the featherweight division. You could fit everybody in the featherweight division in a porta potty. So that's how small it is. So. Robert Henry said, I got Casey. I'm not sure she would win, but I can't stand Kay Hansen the way she fights. Hey, I'm cool with that. But, I mean, if I was looking at the technical aspect, I really do think that it would be close. But I could see Kay Hansen edging it. But I ain't going to lie. Casey O'Neill looks pretty big for a flyweight. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but Casey O'Neill looked like a bantamweight. Maybe that size would come into play, but she didn't really use it with the power. TJ, what's going on? TJ said, Casey O'Neill's GMP reminds me of my lady's reaction when I say something silly. Damn. Woo, that's how bad that looked. You said she throwing them little hands up. Oh, man. I mean, hey, the ref had to stop it, though, right? I mean, I would have stopped. I mean, it wasn't like she was doing damage. I would have just stopped it and said, okay, you ain't doing nothing. So, yeah, we're going to stop this thing. TJ said them little slap, them little flicks. Yeah, it do, man. It do. It did. But yeah, what do you think, TJ? What's your thought? TJ, what were your thoughts on what's your thoughts on this Felicia Spencer versus Danyelle Wolf? I mean, I'm just not understanding. Like, I'm not trying to understand anymore, but you know. I don't know what they're trying to do with Danyelle Wolf at this point. Yeah, Casey O'Neill, 66-0. Excuse me, 6-0. 6-0. I'm like, still got a lot of work to do in there. At 6-0, and the way she came out with this win over Shannon Dobson, so much work to do. I can't say she's the next threat coming in the flyweight division. I can't say that yet. Not when you got those other fighters on the come up like Taylor Santos and so on. What y'all think of Macy Barber versus Casey O'Neill? Casey O'Neill is unranked, right? And Macy Barber is number 15. She's on that bottom rung, right? So she's about out of the top 15. So if Casey O'Neill wants to get tested, and you 6-0, what y'all think? Macy Barber versus Casey O'Neill, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. Now, if you got it, you got it. If you got it, you better flaunt it. I ain't being harsh. So look, you come in, you get Shannon Dobson out, who's an experienced fighter already, right? She's considered an experienced fighter for her. If you feel you got the goods, how you want to see that? Macy Barber, number 15. Filthy man. Hey, hey, I'm saying though, when you come into the UFC, you're supposed to be able to fight these fighters on this level already. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like on that level, you got to take them. That's my thoughts too, though. Stamina. I think Macy would murk her, but they've been pushing Casey O'Neill. They've been talking to her, making her seem like the big thing. But if you want to be that big thing, take Macy out there. Show me what you got. That's how I see it. And I think it would be a good fight for Macy to work her wrestling. Casey was using her physical strength in there, but Shannon Dobson doesn't really have a ground game anyway. She doesn't really have a ground game that's going to, or takedown defense that's going to make a fight look competitive. So if Macy wants to work, that would be a good opponent for her to work on her wrestling with. And she don't have to worry about the ground and pound. Oh yeah, TJ. Yeah, TJ. Jillian, her ground and pound is light years ahead of Casey O'Neill's, all the way, 100%. Like, Jillian Robertson, her stand-up striking is what she has problems with, but it's her ground game where she lets go. Like, when Jillian Robertson has you on the ground, that's when she's dropping bombs on you. That's where she gets her activity from, her work, man. Yeah, I definitely think, her ground and pound is much more effective. But I don't know, Casey O'Neill, they might put her in there with somebody like I think they might put Casey O'Neill in there with somebody like Courtney Casey. They might put her in there with Courtney Casey next. Who are some other unranked flyweights right now? Like I said, Poliana Bateo is fighting. She's fighting Jinyu Kim next, so she's taken. Let me see. Poliana Bateo is taking on Jinyu Kim in May, so she's taken. So who would they match Casey O'Neill up with next? That's an unranked flyweight. I don't know. We have to think about that. I don't know. I don't think they would feed her to. Lolita said Manon Firo. Ooh, that would be, man. Hey, battle of the undefeateds. That would be nice. That would be nice right there. Put another body on Manon Firo's resume right there, and she, then get her into the top 15. But it might be a little early for that. They might see Manon going in there and blasting her out, so they might not match her up. But I like it. I would like it. Well, excuse me, 6-1. I'm sorry. Manon Firo 6-1. She's not undefeated. Sorry. Yeah, Courtney Casey, her stand-up is very good. And I don't think she would succumb to that type of ground and pound though. If I were Courtney Casey, I'd be torn between being insulted to be offered such a squash match and grateful for the softball after getting stopped last time out. Yeah, for her situation, yeah. Beggars can't be choosers, you know. Casey O'Neal's ground and pound, like she asking her man, now why did you do that? why did you lie? Yeah, crazy. Yeah, yeah, Lolita, let's get Wmma non-ranked. Like, it would be interesting to see her go in there with Casey O'Neal just to see her get her out of there, but they want to build her up too, so let's get Wmma non-ranked. You know, we'll get her in there with the top 15 now, you know. Definitely get her in there with the top 15. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. I know BJ from BJ No Filter MMA, he's doing the live interview with Leah Lesson, so I'm gonna hop over there, y'all. I'll be on tomorrow night about the same time. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got some other videos to drop too, so I'm about to get up out of here and jump on here and check him out. Yeah, real quick, my final thoughts, man. I hope Invicta finds a much better home. You know, I hope Invicta goes to Fight or DAZN, you know, an app with much better streaming and a better archive to access. What else? Felicia Spencer, Danyelle Wolf, complete mismatch. It's gonna be a massacre. That's how I see it right now. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna check out BJ. I'm about to jump over here, and yeah, I'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Just make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.